What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue. What I'll be doing in this video is I'm going to be making some carne asada steak. Now, this recipe is kind of inspired by a subscriber of mine by the name of Norma Jean that commented on one of my videos a while back. It was a steak taco video, and she told me I wasn't coming 100% correct on it. She kind of gave me some tips, and we're going to kind of use those in this recipe. Now, she didn't give me a full recipe on this. What she did tell me was a few ingredients that I might want to incorporate. So we're going to do that in this video now. So anyway, before we get into the ingredients, here's kind of what she suggested. She suggested that we marinate this, or marinate if you happen to be an English scholar, in some, it had to be this kind of tequila and maybe one other one. And it's Cazadores, or Cazadores, I don't know how you pronounce it, but anyway, it's the Reposado. We're using that. She also mentioned either squirt soda, which I'm down with, but I happen to have a can of pineapple juice, and she said that was another application that they used for this. Anyway, what I did to come up with this marinade for this carne asada was I searched long, far, tried to find an authentic marinade for carne asada, and one thing I found is there's no authentic marinade. Everything that said it was authentic was different to some degree or another, so I'm going to call this authentic because I blended all that stuff together in this. Like I mentioned earlier, this carne asada marinade is a mashup of a bunch of authentic carne asada marinades that I saw online. I kind of mashed them up together, and this is what I came up with. In the description below is going to be the amounts that I used for each of these ingredients. So what we have is we have orange juice, pineapple juice, distilled white vinegar, garlic cloves, pepper, cumin, oregano. Now I wanted to use Mexican oregano, which is something I typically have on hand, but I don't right now, so I use ground oregano. We have Worcestershire sauce, onion, cilantro. Some of the recipes I had oil, some of them didn't, but normally if I'm doing a marinade, I'm going to have some kind of oil. So we have olive oil here, kosher salt, the tequila that she said is a must-have. She said I couldn't use anything like Cuervo or anything like that, so this is that Cazadores. And then I have 2 pounds of skirt steak, and I cut that in half. And we're just going to go ahead and add our marinade to that. So to get this marinade hooked up, all that we need to do is add these ingredients to a blender and blend it up. I'm going to start off with the wet ingredients so that there's a little bit of lubrication down there by the blade. So we're going to add our orange juice, pineapple juice, our Worcestershire sauce. And then let's just go with our dry ingredients, our pepper, our cumin, oregano, salt. Let's go ahead and add that oil in now as well. And I think any oil would be fine. I'm using olive oil, but any oil would be good. Let's get our garlic in. Add our cilantro. Now usually I have frozen cilantro on hand. I think that would actually be really well in this, just because it breaks down a lot faster. And we have our onions. Now I'm using white onions, but I think red onions would even add more flavor, but I'm using some red onions in the recipe down the road. So let's go ahead and blend this up. Before I keep going, one ingredient I forgot, it's a little clear up here, is we have our vinegar, so let's go ahead and add that in. Almost forgot about that. Alright, so that's all blended up. We're just going to go ahead and add this. I have our skirt steak in a Ziploc bag. We're going to let it sit in a plastic container. And this is going to have a chance to go overnight. So let's just get all that in. We're going to zip this up right quick. Get the air out of it. And I'm just gonna massage it. Steak's had a chance to marinate for about 15 hours. We're gonna go ahead and get our grill heated up. Now I'm using the Camp Chef flat top griddle. One of the good things about this is we can go ahead and remove this flat top and just cook over open flames. So that's a heavy flat top too, man. So we're gonna go ahead and cook over open flames. I'm gonna get this going on high, and then we'll bring the meat out and sear that bad boy up. So I did let this meat sit out for about 45 minutes before we're throwing it on here. So it's not necessarily room temperature, but it's not much higher than that. Woo! That is hot, boy, let me tell you, shoot. We're only gonna go for about 5 to 7 minutes aside. Man, maybe not even that much. This thing is, woo, kicking, let me tell you. I am gonna go ahead and throw on some green onions. Let's just throw them right on top of each other like that. I do have some jalapenos. Gonna be rocking as well. Alright guys, we're about 5 minutes in and just checking these vegetables right quick. What I did do with these vegetables was I did oil them down with some just olive oil and sprinkled a little salt, pepper on it. Now I did check this steak here about 2 minutes ago. This thing is going so high, I just want to double check it. We're about 5 minutes in. I'm gonna go ahead and flip them now. I'm gonna go ahead and let those roll for about another 4 or 5 minutes. Alright, these vegetables look done. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these off now. So I did pull off the green onions and jalapenos that I had. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm cooking up some red orange peppers with some cilantro, onions, salt, pepper in the skillet. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull off these two over here. These are a little bit thinner than these two here. These probably have about another 3 more minutes to go. And these vegetables are looking really good right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull these two now. I'm hoping that these are gonna be a little bit more on the rare side, just so I can mix it up just a little bit. And we're also gonna go ahead and pull these vegetables off, and we're just gonna go ahead and shut this grill down. It's a wrap. We have the steak inside. I'm gonna let that rest for at least 10 minutes before we slice into it. In the meantime, I'm gonna drink a little bit more of that tequila and try to cool down myself. So now this has been about 10 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and slice in. We're going against the grain, and let's see how it turned out. And that looks beautiful right there. And I'm going to be serving this. I have some guacamole made, some pico de gallo. We're going to be doing like a little fajita type situation with this. Alright, that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and try to plate this up to make it look kind of beautiful before we get into our taste test. So this is a wrap for this taste test. I'm going to just put this on a mini street taco. Man, I'm telling you, I'm not sure if these taste so good because I just went to a Mexican restaurant that overcooked my fajitas, or if they're just good in general. Either way, try this out. You don't need to have a Camp Chef grill. If you don't have that, you know, use a regular grill, throw it in a skillet, do what you gotta do, but you gotta try this. This is off the hook. Anyway, I'd like to thank Norma Jean for giving me the inspiration for hooking up that Carne Asada Marinade. Anyway, like I always say, thanks for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.